Thanks for joining us at the Clive Barker Podcast. Subscribe and follow us so you never miss a release. In episode 320, Jointhe and Ryan are joined by Ed and Nina to go over Hellraiser, Clive Barker art, Nightbreed, and Candyman news. Alright, well, welcome. This is episode 320 of the Clive Barker Podcast. Good morning, Ed and Nina and Jointhe.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Almost afternoon for Jointhe.
Yeah, it's 12:46 here.
Yeah.
I still dream of the day that we'll be able to all sit in the same room together.
Yeah, maybe at a Texas Frightmare or something coming up.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, for everybody else, they're having to separate because of the pandemic, and for us, it's like, well, we just always have done it this way.
Yep,
Yeah, isn't Joe and Catalina at Texas Frightmare this weekend?
Yeah,
I think so.
They're there right now.
Right.
I think they're going to be at a panel, so that's cool.
Good luck, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could be there. There's some awesome people. There's a whole, Night of the Living Dead 1990 panel that's going to be there. That would be so
with
fun.
Tony Todd and Patricia Tallman.
That's going to be an upcoming commentary track that we're going to record.
Yeah.
In the month of October.
Yeah. BarkerCast Halloween, everybody. Hashtag.
Yeah, get ready. Get your trick-or-treat bags ready.
Yeah, we're going to have some special content coming soon. So today is a news episode, right? We got some news stuff that came out about Hellraiser, about some things that have popped up. Yeah, things are popping, right?
Yeah. So first up, we just got a news report that there's new cast members, and they've begun filming the Hulu Spyglass Entertainment Hellraiser movie in Belgrade. And the new cast members are, in addition to, we already heard about Odessa Azion, but now we also have Brandon Flynn and Drew Starkey.
And any idea who they're going to play?
No. Yeah, they don't know.
They just mentioned that Odessa Azion is going to play Riley. I think that's one of the names for the characters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and one funny thing in this Dread Central story, they say Azion was cast as Riley, the lead in the film, who will be a gender-swapped reinvention of Doug Bradley's iconic antagonist Pinhead. We were just talking about this before the show. I don't think so. I think that Riley is a character. Riley is not also Pinhead. I mean,
the Cenobite's called Riley?
I think they got their wires crossed.
And the Chatterer is called Michaela.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the Kirsty character, probably.
Yeah, so I found some more articles, and one of them refers the Illuminati, and that's on comicbookmovie.com. It says 20-year-old actress Odessa Azion has tapped to play the lead role of Riley, though the project is also said to be seeking a female lead to play a gender-swapped take on Pinhead. This is believed to be a different part, so that explains it a little more. Yeah,
and Illuminati was the original source where all this news came from. That's where Mr. H got his news, and he kind of mixed up the HBO version and the Hulu.
Right, and Mr. H is a guy on YouTube who has a YouTube channel who does a lot of reviews and stuff on Hellraiser. He's a big Hellraiser nerd on YouTube.
Well, he knows that content gives him clicks. I have the Illuminati link in the show notes as well if you want to put that in, just by the way. Yeah. So that's cool. Wow, exciting. David Bruckner, right? He's directing this from such movies as Southbound and The Night House. You saw The Ritual, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I thought The Ritual was great.
Yeah, and I think he also directed VHS in 2012.
I think
one
VHS
segment
is a compilation.
One segment,
little short segments, and I think he did a segment on it.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
But now's your answer. I mean, we didn't know if they were going to film the movie before the rights go back to Clive Barker, and now here it is. They are actually starting filming in Serbia, in Belgrade. You said?
Yeah, Belgrade.
Wow.
But I think that isn't it the reason why it's coming out on Hulu is because Clive is getting the rights back, and he negotiated with Hulu perhaps to get them to release it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have any information.
That's what Mr. H said, but I mean we don't really know why or how it's on Hulu or if Clive was involved. He's never personally even talked about this Hulu one. He's only talked about the HBO TV series and being involved with that.
Well, you mean Clive?
Clive, yeah. has only talked about the HBO TV series and being a producer on that.
I see. What about also the fact that the RuPaul Drag Queen show had a contestant that was auditioning for, is it the Spyglass one?
Yeah, the same one we were just talking about, the Hulu Spyglass movie.
Gottmik. That was the name of the drag queen that was
auditioned. They
auditioned and they paraded as Pinhead in the final episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. So they had a very exciting and cool looking Pinhead costume. So that was cool.
And you saw that on video?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I think we shared that on the page when it happened. So and
I checked out Gottmik's website, and they're currently touring in London, in the London area. And so you can go on Gottmik.com and check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah, they have an Instagram as well, so you can find
Facebook also.
Absolutely, yeah. But they auditioned, so it's not in the news that they've been cast. But that's interesting because
actually, we saw a little clip of an interview with her, or Nina did, and I heard it where they said that they didn't get it. Yeah, so it's official that they did not get it.
Yeah, but it sure brought up a lot of hype, so that's definitely for sure. Which makes sense because originally, right, in the Hellbound Heart novella, the character with the bejeweled pins is supposed to have a breathy, excited voice like a little girl. And I'm not sure that means exactly that they're supposed to be female or whatever, but it just means that they speak like this. They speak very excited.
Yeah, and I think that my take on it was that it was that the gender was sort of up in the air, that you didn't
androgynous.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't really know.
Exactly, and I have an audiobook version that Clive reads himself, and he imitates that breathy, female-ish sounding voice. And ironically, also, if you listen to the description, it talks about the thighs and the putting tongues out on the thighs and stuff, and it doesn't describe a penis or anything. So I believe it was androgynous, but also perhaps no genitalia visible,
but that one is a different one. That is a female Cenobite with a scarified pubis. Labia and stuff. Yeah, that's a different woman that appears.
But I thought that in the Hellbound Heart, that is the lead Cenobite, the one that speaks.
I think that one is the lead, but it's not the Pinhead.
Yeah, well, it's been a while.
That one has the most speaking parts, and that one stays with Frank when the other ones leave.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that one's just meant to engage him into the experience of
sexual
going
arousal,
beyond the limits. Yes.
Right. Because in fact, in the book or in the novella, the idea is not that he leaves blood like in the film, where it's blood and tissue and stuff that are regenerated. It's semen. Right. Right. Because he gets so aroused by it that he masturbates onto the wooden boards, and that's his essence.
Yeah, they sort of sidestepped that in the movie.
This is 2021. I wonder how they're going to handle all this sort of thing in the new stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I'm interested in knowing how they're going to reintroduce certain aspects. If it's going to be the same beats of the story, if they're going to make it different.
Sadomasochistic leather gear again. Or,
I think everybody loves calling stuff a remake or a reboot, but I think all honesty, I think it's just going to be its own thing. I don't know.
In the Cenobium magazine, there used to be these really out there pinups, which they really brought out the
possibilities.
And the uncensored idea of what Hellraiser fandom was fascinated with.
Triple X or uncensored, where could you go?
Yeah, because there's two sides, there's two facets to the Hellraiser universe and Hellraiser fandom, I think, which are one, the domination and sadomasochistic aspect to it, and then the other one is
and scarification,
the gore,
and mutilation,
the sex, the pleasure, So those things come together, and it becomes a very complicated, very complicated mishmash of sexiness and danger and pain and consent and non-consent
in 2021. You know?
It's interesting in the almost 10 years we've been doing this. I've noticed that there's the Venn diagram of Clive Barker fans and Hellraiser fans. The circles aren't really as close together as you would think. Right? There's a lot of Hellraiser fans that are like, oh, I didn't like Nightbreed, or I haven't read any of his books or whatever.
Yeah,
true,
definitely.
And also the kind of the crossover into, leather, bondage, discipline, punk, bikers,
and modern metal, primitives,
punk rock, all those, the kind of a different side, not towards the fantasy and the kind of poetic, the way that Clive's writing is sort of, it's definitely more poetic. It's more, what do they call it? Prose. It's prose writing. It's not like Stephen King or other horror writers that are, like if you want to look at it in the film vein, Saw, and the more bloody, gory films, that Hellraiser has that in it. Or look at even Candyman. The original Candyman, and the way that the approach of the urban legends and the the story, the forbidden and stuff. It's lyrical. It's beautiful. There you find the beauty in horror.
Right. And Hellraiser has that part which is the body modification angle and the sexual pleasure-y kind of like sadomasochist thing, and they come together, like you said. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, explosive mixture to bring up. Yeah.
How do you separate that? And people like David Cronenberg with their, body horror films and stuff, and the kind of weird crossover where Clive brought David Cronenberg into the Nightbreed film and stuff. I love all that,
Yeah, the very subdued character, but the inside he's like struggling and has all these urges that he inflicts upon other people, his victims. So just a reminder, this is the Spyglass Entertainment movie that's going to be on Hulu. So because there's a TV show as well that has Clive as executive producer. And this is the movie that we're talking about is going to be, it's written by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski. So just want to make sure that people understand what project we're actually talking about. So
right, but the world of Hellraiser is such a can of worms that, wow, what are we going to see? How are they going to handle this?
Yeah.
And honestly, the news about the Spyglass HBO version has been a lot fewer and far between. I think people are being more tight-lipped about that particular project.
Sure. It makes sense. I mean, they don't want it to leak.
Yeah.
And, honestly, we still don't know anything about this movie.
Honestly,
as well.
I'm still I'm more excited about the HBO TV series than the Hulu one. But I'm excited about both.
Right, and how they're going to handle this material.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of Hellraiser, and it's it was Doug Bradley's birthday on the 7th of September.
Oh,
so happy
birthday,
belated birthday!
You.
Yeah, today's the 11th. So that was just 4 days ago.
Oh, well, congratulations, happy birthday, Doug!
Yeah,
many, many more.
I know. On Stephanie Shulo?
Yeah.
Is that he explained? Doug explained to us how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I think I did it right.
Yeah, you did it right.
But so on Instagram, she posted a picture of herself and Doug. They're walking down a street, and she captioned it as "Happy birthday, my love. You and me against the world, always and forever." Heart emoji.
Oh, isn't that sweet? That's
so
nice.
They're walking down the street. She has a leather jacket and jeans, and Doug has a dark blue blazer and black jeans, and they're just walking down the road holding hands. Beautiful picture.
That's awesome.
Excellent. Happy birthday, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of famous people here wishing him happy birthday on Instagram, like Tom Savini saying, "What? Did you actually leave the house? Happy birthday, old friend." and Barbie Wild says, "Much love to you both." And there's a whole bunch of people here just wishing him happy birthday.
That's wonderful. That's great. We love you, Doug.
And Hellraiser is screening in the UK right now as an anniversary. I guess it's an anniversary screening, 87.
Oh, isn't that cool? Where? At what theater? Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's like one of those limited release things where you can see an older movie across the country.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Jeff Portis said he's going to go there and watch it. He bought tickets, I think.
Oh, Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The father of Pinhead in the house.
I know. Let me see if I can find his Facebook post real quick. I know he posted about that.
There and people wouldn't notice that he was there.
I know.
He's be up on the front of the stage and answer questions and stuff.
Exactly.
I do love...
I just want to watch people react to the work.
Absolutely. Yep. I just love the fact that Hellraiser keeps showing up in like special screenings around the world and celebrating like anniversaries and stuff like that. It really shows that people have a lot of love for this movie.
Yeah, I was just talking to Pete Atkins the other day, and he said that he is definitely going to sit down and listen to the Jeff Portas episode because he hasn't done that yet.
All right.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be great. I thought that one was a really amazing episode with him.
Oh,
he's such a good speaker.
Pete, you're behind.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I listen to them too, and I'm way behind.
He's been a little bit under the weather.
So I found Jeff Portas's Facebook post. This might be a different screening, actually. Where did you say the screening was, Ryan?
Well, it's in Odeon theaters across the UK, I believe. I don't think it's in any. It's not like a single screening.
Got it. Because the one Jeff Portas is going says here, he posted a picture of his ticket. It says Hellraiser for 18 and older, Friday, September 17 in Norwich. So he's got 2 tickets for him and his husband to go to. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like how in the U.S. we have the Fathom events where, like, you can see the Muppet movie or,
Right. You can see an old film if you and your friends get together and, like, book the theater and stuff.
And it's only for a really short time, like a couple of days. I think it's probably something similar to that.
Yeah, tonight I'm going to watch, I'm going to go to the movies tonight on the theater. And I got tickets for me and Sarah to go watch Cinema Strangiato. It's a Rush concert movie, and it's like 3 hours long. So,
oh wow!
I love Rush.
Cool. Yeah. It's playing like just a limited engagement. I think it was playing yesterday and today, and so we found out that it was playing in a theater just a couple of miles down the road, and we're like, hey, let's go there and buy those tickets. So I'm watching that today.
That's cool. They're going to have great music sound there.
Yeah. That's good. I'm excited about it. Although she's the big fan of Rush, I'm not. I'm more of a punk guy, not so much a prog rock guy. But it's good music. Yeah.
Nina loves Rush too. She went and saw them.
Well, they're very talented.
I see them every year.
Ryan, that just reminded me of like someone in a movie saying that. Well, they're very talented.
They obviously put a lot of work into this.
You enjoy yourself, honey.
No, I think Rush is I'm kind of like you. I think Rush is good, but it's never anything that made me want to go out and buy their albums, I guess.
Yeah, welcome to the Rush bashing podcast.
That's not bashing.
I know. Yeah. You're more into more heavier stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like Bubbles on the Trailer Park Boys.
For a 3-piece band, I like Venom better.
What are you into, Ed? I know you like Ghost and stuff, and Nina likes Ghost.
I like everything, Yeah. But my very first concert was Kiss and Rush and the Tubes here in Winterland in San Francisco.
Awesome.
My very first mixtape you sent me was Dead Can Dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like a little of everything.
My first concert was Yes.
Oh, I love.
Oh, Rick Wakeman, awesome.
Yeah, Roundabout. I love that song.
There's a pizza
song
place.
Doesn't make any sense. If you ask somebody what it's about, like I have no idea.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I have a pizza place here in Miamisburg, and when you go into the pizza place, the owner has a bunch of Rick Wakeman memorabilia and posters. So, and Yes posters and stuff. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I used to love their Roger Dean album covers. And I have a whole Roger Dean book, and they had a tour one year where they had all these like mushroom-shaped creature weird things up on stage with them, and it was very cool.
A few people have noticed that I sneak Amiga music into our podcast. And they're games by Psygnosis, and all Psygnosis games had box covers that were painted by Roger Dean.
Oh, that's cool.
And
like a 12-bit game or something?
16.
And my Chromecast in this room is actually rotating wallpapers by Roger Dean as we're talking.
Whoa.
No way. That's cool.
Welcome to the Roger Dean podcast.
Yeah.
Three degrees of separation for Roger Dean. There you go.
Yeah. From
They have
Clive
Asia
Barker, we
covers
probably
and
went
stuff.
like 12 degrees, but...
Yes.
So what's
Anyways,
next
back
on the
to the
news?
news.
Yeah, so Russell Charrington... Russell Charrington made a Facebook post about he's having a virtual tour, The Art of Clive Barker, for charity.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So I've got a Facebook link to it. I don't think there's a website for it, so you just kind of click on the link if you're on Facebook. And if you want to RSVP to it, it's clivebarkereden@gmail.com, I think is an email of Russell's, and then you can sign up. It's on Saturday, the 30th of October, and I think it's a virtual tour and an in-person tour, too, because he says there'll be cake and tea and coffee and soft drinks. So I'm assuming that's also an in-person one.
So people can actually go and check it out in person.
Because that would be cruel to say that it's only virtual, but there'll be cake.
You can have virtual cake.
Look how
cake and death.
this is. Yeah, no, so that would be pretty neat. It's only $5 or 5 Great Britain pounds. And
what charity is it for?
RSPCA and Shelter.
Oh, so animals.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So adopt a pet, all you out there.
Corey Taylor, if anybody's familiar with the band Slipknot, Corey Taylor has a new mask that looks really familiar to Clive Barker fans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they keep changing masks, right? I'm not that much into Slipknot, so...
me either. To me,
someone sent this to us.
That's the band that the kids were playing when I was a teacher, and to me, that's just kind of annoying, but...
They have such hits as People Equal Shit.
Are you
That's a song title.
I think Trick or Treat Studios has the license for Slipknot. Maybe they're going to make this as available.
Oh, you mean they release the masks that they use on stage?
Yes.
That's cool.
Like Ghost, they have the license for Ghost, and they make masks that are the Ghost masks as well.
What's the name of the lead singer of Ghost? The character name?
Maggot? No,
is it Papa something?
Oh, Tobias Forge. I'm sorry. I was looking up
That's not his character name.
No, I'm looking up the
What's Tobias'
Slipknot thing.
Name?
Papa Emeritus or
Papa
something
Emeritus,
like that?
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, the Cardinal has become the Papa Emeritus.
So
gotcha.
I have to ask, and I have a couple of Ghost CDs, but what's the difference between Ghost and Ghost BC?
None, but when they first came to America to start distributing, there was another group in the United States called Ghost, and so they had to add the BC to be different.
Oh, thank you.
So that's all it is.
It's like
newsworthy.
it's like the Cult. The Cult originally was called the Southern Death Cult, and then they became the Cult, or the Cure. They didn't. Yeah. They started out being called the Definitive Cure or something, and then they just shortened it to the Cure. So
right. And Black Sabbath was called Earth until they found out there was another band called Earth.
Was it? Wow.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
And David Bowie was Davy Jones.
And the Monkees were Davy Jones.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why Bowie's Bowie.
So this Slipknot thing, it looks, so it's a white mask, okay? It's got these stitches on the parietal region, and there's some big scars. One goes from the ear up, and the other one goes like round on the side of the head with stitches.
If Dr. Decker was a baseball, that's what it would look like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. It is really good. Good thing. And then there's another one that goes from...
For eyes?
It doesn't. No. It has little like metal circles like a droid from Star Wars.
Oh,
yeah,
like
there's
a vomit hole.
Or like
exactly.
The Sand People is what I was thinking of, actually.
Well, the Sand People have glasses. This is more like these grommets, like you were saying, right? Like these washers, and then there's holes that he can see through. And there's another big scar that goes from the ear and goes around the jaw into the corner of the mouth. And then there's these cuts around the mouth area, vertical cuts. And it marginally looks like Dr. Decker. I mean, masks are masks.
Yeah, it's very evocative.
Yeah.
Well, they had the Nightbreed license, Trick or Treat Studios, and they actually sold the Nightbreed Dr. Decker, too.
I mean, they don't... There is an article that compares it to Decker, but there's nothing really about it that says it's a homage to it or anything like that. But, yeah.
I bet if you talk to the sculptors and the fan, they probably would agree, though, that, it is a homage.
Probably, yeah. Definitely some inspiration there, I guess. But like I said, masks are masks, and once you have a mask with 2 holes for eyes and stitches around it, so many masks are like that, right?
Also, like the bondage leather type masks that have like a zipper for the mouth, like Decker has a zipper for the mouth.
Sure.
But, the Slipknot masks, one of them was like a black leather mask like that, but it had nails all sticking out, like Pinhead way.
Mm-hmm. I remember
that was definitely Pinhead inspired, I'm sure.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. So was this Corey Taylor the one that used to have a mask that looks like Leatherface, I think? I think it was.
I don't. Yeah. I have trouble keeping
I'm not
track
that big
of
a Slipknot fan, to be honest.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, you guys will be able to see this in the show notes. If you click on it, you'll see Corey Taylor. If you're a Slipknot fan and a Clive Barker fan, I'm sure you'll be excited about this.
Yep.
And we are also going to provide you with a couple of pictures of Gottlieb for the show notes. Gottnick, silently.
Gottnick. Okay.
Gottlieb.
Yeah. And our last bit of news, in light of the new Candyman film by Nia DaCosta, the Clive Barker archive, Phil and Sarah have created a blog post and put in a lot of material on the Forbidden and Candyman. So we got a link there to check that out. It's pretty neat. There's handwritten manuscript pages from the Books of Blood story, which honestly are really, really hard to read. But that's pretty neat to see.
They're scans or they're like still photos.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of an essay introduction by Phil and Sarah as well.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
is there a new interview with Clive about the new movie or anything?
Not yet. No. I mean, they record those interviews like way in advance, months in advance before they put them out on the website. So they may have already done one and it just isn't posted yet.
Right. Yeah, because now that the film is out, and obviously I'm sure Clive's seen it, and other people who are in his circle and stuff, like Phil and Sarah, perhaps have seen it.
One thing we didn't mention about that movie that I was just thinking about last night is, in one way, that movie is more faithful to Clive's story than any other Candyman movies, because it leaves room to say that there can be multiple Candymans, which might include the one from Liverpool, right? From the Forbidden.
Well, yeah. Basically, it's the concept of the urban legend.
Yeah,
and
sure. I mean, in terms of the
other movies, say that there's one Candyman.
Well, the first movie series, yeah.
That's the one we see, right? So there might have been others throughout the times, just like there's another one in the more recent modern times of the new movie. So I took it to mean
70s Candyman.
But he wears bell bottoms.
Yeah.
I was just because I'm blind, I can't watch it again, but I remember it all very, very well. And I listened to the audio commentary track on the DVD that we own. And it was very interesting to listen to all these comments being made by Clive and Bernard Rose and, the producer and stuff. It was so relevant to today. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff they were saying about like how Candyman, in the first film, could be like a black Dracula, like a elegant, villain, but not really a villain, but, like sort of like Pinhead, how, his regal quality and, his class, he just reeks class, Sure.
Yeah.
I just want to bring attention to if you're going to watch the new Candyman from 2021 that's in the theaters right now, and it's really close to me. I might watch it again on Monday. But the Candyman Blu-ray from Arrow, the original film, it's really good. It's a good purchase, and it's got a brand new restoration on a 4K scan of the original negative. And it has the 5.1 DTS HD original uncompressed stereo. You got the commentary, like you were talking about. There's one with Bernard Rose and actor Tony Todd. There's another one with Stephen Jones and Kim Newman. There's a brand new interview in there with actor Tony Todd. I mean, this came out a few years ago, but it's still a very good. This came out in 2019, but it's still a very good edition.
That's the one that came out after the one that I have, and it sounds like it's packed full of more material.
It is. Has Forbidden Flesh, the makeup effects of Candyman, interviews with special makeup effects artist Bob Keane, Gary Tunnicliffe, Mark Coulier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a really good Blu-ray.
Every time a Clive Barker movie comes out on a new format, I still have to keep the old ones because they're autographed.
Right. Have you got these, you guys? Did you get the new one? The Blu-ray?
I think I did, yeah.
How about you, Joe?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah, I have to find a way to. I have to rewatch that again. It's really
awesome. Good. Yeah, I'd love to see the special effect. I mean, not see, of course, I'm blind, but I'd love to hear the special effects interviews with Bob Keane and stuff.
Because I really do want to advise people, if you're going to watch this movie, and if you're a Hellraiser, Candyman fan already, watch the first movie again, because that will give you a new layer of enjoyment for this one, because it does reference situations, stories, character, and even has actors from the first movie coming back.
Yeah, they pair really well together.
All the behind-the-scenes material is so relevant, even though if it was recorded back in the 90s when they first made the first film, you cannot, distinguish because of the times, how things, even though it's 20-something years ago, it's still very relevant. All the things Clive was saying on the original release as well, the old documentary material,
Yeah. And going back to the Candyman post on the Clive Barker archive, I just want to bring up a little bit of what they're sharing there. So they have 2 pages, like Ryan said, of Clive's handwritten draft, the artwork by Jon Stewart that accompanies the Forbidden's first standalone publication, and the magazine Fantasy Tales, 85. There is a 1987 Literary Guild advert for the U.S. publication of the Books of Blood, what's called In the Flesh. There's a manifesto film sales brochure from 92, and the cover and title page of Bernard Rose's film script signed by Virginia Madsen. So that's a lot of good stuff that you can see. I knew this image. I knew one of these images that they have here with a woman standing next to a door where there's like this scary face painted around it. I had seen this in Shadows in Eden in black and white, and now they have it here in full color. So that's really, really
cool.
Vibrant.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was very interested when they were talking on Virginia Madsen on the behind the scenes of the first film. They took her to a hypnotist, and she got hypnotized all the time, and her eyes would dilate while on set. Did you know about all that?
No. Wow.
Yeah, she did this whole thing where, because they wanted her to act like she was mesmerized by Candyman.
I remember.
Yeah, I found that very fascinating.
Wow, that's interesting. Maybe it's a little bit of hype in there, but that's cool.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
so.
I found something here. Oh, I did find something here on YouTube. Hypno Virginia Madsen hypno during Candyman. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add this to the show notes.
I think it's a little controversial, but interesting.
That's it for news. But also, we remember last episode we talked about how we made a poll to see what kind of episodes people liked, and thank you for those of you that participated. The results are in, and they're different depending on whether it was Facebook or Twitter. So on Facebook, people overwhelmingly liked feature discussions. And this was in Occupy Midian, which is a Nightbreed-based group. So that makes sense. And one of our comments even said, like, anything about Nightbreed. So that might have skewed that a little bit, but they're overwhelmingly, they liked feature discussion, then movie audio commentary, then interviews, then news, and then Jericho Squad last. On Twitter.
I'm surprised though.
On Twitter.
So wait! Before you go to Twitter,
yeah.
So what you mean by that is that feature discussions meaning about a particular movie, or how do you read that?
Yeah, feature discussions where we pick a movie or a book or a playbook or whatever or an art book, and we talk about it for that episode.
So featuring a particular thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I was surprised because I would think interviews would be closer to the top. But,
but I mean, I think that
the sample size is kind of small, right?
It is really small. So I think if any one of us had participated, we would have skewed it. So.
Okay, so now Twitter. On
Twitter, we had an even split, 42.9% on feature discussion and 42.9% on interviews. And then a distant third was commentaries, and then we had 0 for role-playing game.
Okay. But I like the fact that, they like the interviews. That's great.
Yeah, so we got completely different results from Twitter compared to what we got in Occupy Midian. So I think that speaks.
Market.
And Occupy Midian really, I think, more than we realize, is really a Nightbreed group.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that means that, in future we should strive to get some interviews with Nightbreed people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we did a ton of that in our first in our first year.
Oh, we sure did, especially actors. Yeah.
Yeah, our whole first year was after we talked about the Books of Blood, our whole first year was Occupy Midian and Nightbreed.
Yeah, we didn't get Charles Haight, but we got most of the other main characters.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Now you got Shona Sassi on the 300th.
Well,
that's right. We had her before.
Yeah, we talked to her before.
An episode with Michael Plummedes.
Yeah.
That was. I was not on that episode.
Maybe time to revisit. Maybe time to bring them back for a revisit.
Sure, why not?
Coming next, we're going to be discussing the playbook Nightlives as soon as Jose's comes in the mail. And we've got Jericho Squad 77, Part 7.
For Halloween.
That'll be in October on the 23rd, I think.
And where will you be in the world at that point? The Jericho Squad world.
Oh, it's like I'm still going to be in Fairbanks. I don't...
We're gonna be in hell, baby.
Last time I heard, you were in hell.
Yeah, well, they're in the false hell of
Down Satan.
Yeah,
from the
Down
story
Satan.
from the Books of Blood.
Yeah.
I think what level are we in, Ryan? I think we're in the 4th or 5th level.
Yeah, I think you guys are on the 4th, making your way
Circle.
to the 5th. Yeah.
Yeah. We're in the 5th circle of hell, which is what is it? Lust?
No. You guys are on. You guys were on anger, and you're making your way into heresy.
Okay. Yeah, the 5th circle is with the wrathful and the sullen are punished for their sins.
Yeah.
Heretic, you.
Sure. I'm always in the mood for some heresy, so let's do it.
Yeah.
Is this equate to Dante's Inferno?
A little bit.
Yeah, because in the short story, he based it in part on the levels of Dante's Inferno in Down Satan.
Ryan is the game master or the dungeon master. I'm sorry. Game master is for the Pathfinder, right?
Game master is for every other game except for Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. Yeah. So you're the dungeon master. I'm just along for the ride, so I have no idea what's in store for my character, the arithmetic librarian called Churidovir.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I almost died last episode like twice. It was a hard fight. It was really hard. I was unconscious, floating face down in the muck. It was like, someone pull me out of this.
Roll for survival.
Yep. And he made a Yattering really mad.
Yeah. I called him Fart.
Yeah.
And then he stabbed me in the back while I was in the water, the little prick. Anyway.
And then he had his shat.
I broke one of his horns after he was dead for a souvenir. So
yeah. That guy had been bugging you over three episodes.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to attack him because he was invisible.
Yeah, it was hard to find out where he was. So.
Yeah.
We got him, though.
Yeah.
I got his horn. I'm going to wear that around my neck. I forgot to mention something. Yahya Mateen, he plays Anthony in Candyman. Yahya Mateen is also in the upcoming Matrix 4. He plays Morpheus. So
I heard that.
I was wondering who that guy was. Why? So I don't get it. Why didn't they?
Why they recast?
Yeah, why did they recast Morpheus?
Oh, I have no idea. But it seems like from what I saw the trailer. Anybody here saw the trailer or listened to the trailer?
Watched it.
Okay. So what I got from the trailer is that, and hello, welcome to the Matrix podcast. But what I got from it is, so Neo, he's inside the Matrix again, and he doesn't remember who he is. Yeah, and he's got the long hair and the beard and stuff. Yeah, he's talking
even though he was blinded and killed in the third Matrix movie.
Or at least he was plugged into the Matrix and his body kind of passed away. So what we get out of that is that since he had all those plugs in his body and he got plugged into the Matrix, maybe they sucked his mind out of it. Maybe his body, I think his body appears in the trailer connected to the machines. And then it appears that he wakes up in a pod again with his body all shaved and covered in gel again. So what I got out of that is that he didn't die. he's still there. His body is alive by the machines. He's inside the Matrix. And then it seems like all the other characters who died in the previous Matrix are brought back as rejuvenated, whatever. I don't know if
I wonder if like Trinity is a program.
It was Bobby Ewing's dream.
Yeah. So
I wonder if some of them are programs that aren't really living people. Like
sure.
Trinity.
There's a theory that Trinity appears in the trailer, but there's a fan theory that's like maybe that's just a simulacra of Trinity that the Matrix created to keep him like distracted, because they meet in the laundromat and they shake hands and they're like, "Have I met you before?" And it's like they give that impression. But then of course there's Yahya Mateen shows up as Morpheus. There's the whole scene again of the blue pill and the red pill.
Yeah. But wait a minute. Okay, I'm blind. So what does Trinity and Neo look like? Are they youngified? Did they computer youngify them?
No.
Or they look
old?
I mean,
no.
Neo
they look just like
John
Neo
Wick
looks
is
like
60 years old.
Yeah, Neo looks like John Wick. And
he's 60 now. And he's 60.
And Trinity looks the same. I mean, it's just because the actress looks pretty similar. Carrie-Anne Moss, Trinity looks pretty similar.
I mean, that's 30 years ago now.
I know.
He's 57. Yeah. Oh, wow. He's pushing 60 almost.
Yeah,
cool.
Right.
He still looks pretty good.
He's still in great shape, of course, for his age and all that. But I'm just wondering, are they trying to make him look young again or anything?
No, he looks like regular time Keanu Reeves, present day Keanu Reeves. Yeah. All this stuff is very exciting. And there's this thing in the trailer where you see Neo takes a medication every day and it's blue pills.
Yeah.
And then one day he just stops
Viagra.
taking them. His Viagra. Or his Prozac.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to signify maybe his doctor, played by Neil Patrick Harris, who he's talking to in the beginning. Maybe he's a program by the Matrix to try to like keep him medicated and forget who he is.
Well, in the original Matrix, the blue pill made him forget, and then he would wake up in his bed.
You stay in the Matrix.
Right.
Yeah, the red pill
and then he throws all the blue pills away. He throws them all away. He stops taking them. And then the trailer picks up speed. And all of a sudden there's like Yahya Mateen showing up as Morpheus. And there's another black actress playing a younger Oracle with big sunglasses. And it's the Oracle, the lady from the first and second.
The old black lady in the first films.
Yeah. So now she's a young actress. And Morpheus is also young.
And they showed I saw a post, I think maybe on Twitter, where they showed there was a little girl in the Oracle's office or whatever.
Yeah, there was
one of the potentials. And she
bending spoons.
So it was the same person, the same actress, grown up.
Only older.
That's cool that they went back and got them. Yeah. So Yahya Mateen looks amazing as Morpheus. This is a really cool scene. He's wearing like this kind of orange tan suit, and he's got the little round glasses, and he's looking straight ahead, and he's got two machine guns in his hand, and he's crossing his arms and shooting through two different doors at the same time, and things are exploding behind him. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
What's funny is, ironically, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, the guy, Doogie Howser, the guy who plays the psychiatrist.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
I was in a project with him, like here in the Bay Area in Santa Cruz, California, way back. I was asked to be an extra on the, how the famous in Lost Boys, the carousel on the beach and boardwalk at Santa Cruz was used, in the Lost Boys. Well, it was in this TV movie that I was in, and Doogie Howser was the star, and Neil Patrick Harris, and Terry Garr played his mother, and it was this true story about a young kid who was sitting in a car in his driveway, and somebody smashed into the back of it, and he got his head crushed into the steering wheel and the windshield and stuff, and got brain damage. And it was this weird, true story about this kid that was like a TV movie, and I played an extra, wearing my leather jacket with my long hair, riding on the carousel, playing like a punk, like a thug.
Nice. It's Stranger in the Family from 1991.
Yeah,
that was quick.
Yeah,
it was called. Yeah,
I always thought that Doogie Howser was really condescending. At the end of every episode, when he was writing in his diary, he'd be like, "But when it comes to friendship, Vinny is the real genius."
Yeah, because Vinny was his buddy.
Yeah, like, come on.
Well, that's because Vinny could pick up on girls, and he knew how to socially,
But he's always referring to himself as a genius, and it's like this backhanded sort of
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, everybody in that show is supposed to be like he's in college becoming a doctor and he's like a teenager.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like so unrealistic.
He was still in elementary school or something. And then, ironically, look at his weird career. Like he was in those Kumar.
Oh yeah.
And,
Harold.
He was the psych reader in Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah, he was one of the Nazi,
the Gestapo.
He looked a little young for that part. It seemed like
they aged him at the end a little bit. They put some makeup on to make him look older, and they cut his hair. But
trench coat.
I think he's got great comic chops. He does have great comic chops. Yeah.
It's just a strange career arc he's had.
Yeah.
Yep. So The Matrix Resurrections. Yahya Mateen plays Morpheus. I just had to drop that in because I saw that last night.
That's cool.
Yep.
And then, of course, we're going to go
tangent.
We're going to go on to Clive Barker Illustrator 2 for a feature discussion that everybody on Occupy Midian likes.
Right. And Marcus will join you, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah, we're hoping. We need Marcus. If you're listening, come on, give us a date.
Yeah. Just that's going to be a cool interview. It's always nice to talk about art, and Marcus always has some great insights. So hopefully he will be joining us for that. Yeah. Illustrator is one of those books that's not just art. You also read a lot of stuff in there.
And is that the Fred Burke? Is that another one of the black and white ones?
Yeah, that's
Fred
right.
Burke was the editor or writer, so called.
Yeah. That's right.
Compiler.
Yeah, these are the very first Clive Barker art books that made people go, "Oh, Clive Barker is also an artist."
Yeah, and they were mostly done with sumi brush and black ink on white paper,
Yeah, and for those of us in America that didn't get all the cool Cabal sketches in the book, we could see them in the Illustrator books.
Right.
That's so unbelievable to me that when Cabal came out in America, it didn't have the fold-in, drawings that he did.
But it did have Books of Blood, Volume 6, jammed at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. What's weird is to think of Clive as doing only black and white pen and ink or brush stuff like this. It was so weird, to only see that when now we know, of course, before I went blind, I did see a lot of his color stuff, but you guys know how rich his color work is now,
Well, and before a lot of those sketches, he did the covers for the Books of Blood, which is
right. So you knew he could do color.
Yeah, super articulated and realistic looking and
detailed,
very well composed.
Very figurative, very figurative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, he can do a lot of figurative stuff. I mean, we when we were over at the Seraphim offices back in, what was it, Ryan, like 2014? 14, yeah. We saw this amazing design drawing that he did when he was in school, and it was this man in a suit. And it was done in like brown paper, which, terrible medium to paint and keep. Yeah. But it was just such a beautiful, well-figurative design. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't the illustration that he did on like brown paper that was on the floor in Jeff Portas's workshop or something?
That's right,
For the iconic image.
Yeah, that kind of, what do you call, set paper or
brown paper for your tabletop or for
that he drew Shunasasi and Baphomet on those, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Baphomet for sure, because I believe recently Jeff allowed the prop store of London to take it and sell it and auction it off.
And he showed that to us, I think, on that video, right?
On the Zoom meeting, yes.
For episode 300. So go check that out if you want to see it.
Yeah, and it's now gone from his collection. It's he released his script, his autograph script of Nightbreed, and I think maybe even Hellraiser 1 and 2, I'm not sure, and his box to sell in an auction at Prop Store of London.
I'm jealous of whoever owns that right now.
I was just about to say, whoever is out there listening to this, if you are the ones who win those auctions, please let us know.
Yeah, we want to see. We want to know.
Oh my God.
We're going to be returning to A to Z commentaries for extra credit, P for Pain, which is about Tom Savini, and we'll be doing an audio commentary for Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 remake.
Which he directed.
Yeah, he directed it. And for my money, that is my favorite zombie movie of all time. I love
Which
that
also
movie.
discovered Tony Todd.
Yeah. It was neat.
Was that one of his first movies?
Yes, and he's the star. He plays Ben, the lead character who lives to the very end, unfortunately. Right. Yeah. Spoilers. We all know what happens.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a twist on this movie compared to the original black and white, which is kind of a refreshing, a neat take on the film. And I understand that there were a lot of production problems for Tom Savini. But for people just watching the movie, it's great.
Yeah, it's a great film. I personally really like it. The effects guys also were very innovative. They used new techniques, including computers. Like, for instance, at the time, computers were very infantile at the time. They had, like the video toaster and the Amiga and stuff, and those guys used those techniques of those types of computers to do what would be considered like mix and match of prosthetic appliances on a generic like figure on the computer screen. So you could like take a section of the face or a section of the chin or something and move it and like say, okay, we have like 10 or so different designs and we're going to mix and match them. And then we're going to do the same thing physically with the three-dimensional prop pieces. And there we can, just like how Jeff Portes told us about on Life Force, how they took different
kind
pieces.
of a pre-visualization of what the composed face would look like. Okay, cool.
In the early computer days.
Yeah,
and that was very innovative.
Amigas could output using the same refresh rate and resolution as a TV. So you could kind of chroma key in like stuff right onto the screen in real time.
Right, and they could kind of like use a mouse and like pull and drag it over and like mix and match facial designs without having to sketch every single one and have hundreds of drawings. It was all done with the computer.
Yeah, pretty neat.
But the final result is beautiful. They had some really amazing corpses coming to life, like people that were super skinny, and they used these weird prosthetics on their faces where their eyes had, white, dead eyes. But they, if you look at real corpses, like they studied real corpses and they found out, that real corpses had like their eyes were bugged out and stuff. And, they were able to simulate those kinds of things, for the first time. That film has some of those kinds of effects that you didn't see before because those guys took it to a new level, And that wasn't Tom Savini doing those effects. He was a director. He just hired, the guys of Optic Nerve. It was the guys from Optic Nerve who did the effects.
Oh, Optic Nerve, yeah. I'm sure we'll get a lot deeper into that once we make the commentary track. I recently bought, if you know me, I collect VHS as well. So recently I got a 2-tape set of the director's cut of the original Night of the Living Dead. Oh. And one of them has a parody movie. It's
Night of the Living Bread.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Are you familiar with that, Ed?
Yes.
Night of the Living Bread. Oh my God. I have so much fun watching that a few weeks ago. I was like, what's this? Night of the Living Bread. And it's coming to get you, Barbara. And a slice of bread just jumps on the windshield of the car. And I'm like, oh my God.
that original version of Night of the Living Dead, because they lost the rights to it, anybody can make a release of Night of the Living Dead and put anything they want on it.
Yeah, that's a silly thing that happened, unfortunately, that screwed them all out of the money is, the company that released it, on the actual celluloid forgot to put the copyright insignia.
Yeah. I think they forgot to renew it or something. But
the initial release, they just didn't print because they changed the title. The initial title was going to be something like
Flesh Eaters or something like that.
Flesh Eaters, yeah. And so the producer, the distributor, changed the title, and that's where it screwed up the insignia. Of
that would do it. Yeah, that would do it.
It was like an MC XX, number, blah blah blah. It was supposed to be down in the corner or something.
Oops.
And of course, then there was a spin-off with Romero's partner who created Evil Dead.
Return of the Living Dead.
Return of the Living Dead. I'm sorry, which became a pretty cool movie on its own.
Yeah.
All right.
I was always Team Romero. I didn't like Return of the Living Dead.
I'm always slow zombies. Yes.
Yeah.
I lost touch of it after City of the Dead. I lost touch.
The third one or the fourth?
Yeah,
or
with
fifth one?
with John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper.
Right.
That's
Land
of the Dead. There we go.
Land of the Dead. Thank you.
I kept
that was the
thinking
last
about
one.
the working title was Dead Reckoning, and then they changed it.
Yes, that was
Anyway.
the name of the big truck.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for the Night of the Living Dead podcast. And so
that formerly known as the Matrix podcast.
Yeah.
Formerly known as
But thanks for joining us for this, guys. Thanks for being with us, Ed and Nina, and commenting on the news with us.
And look forward to the Pete Atkins coming up in the new episodes.
That's right. That's right. For our BarkerCast Halloween.
Yeah. He doesn't know it yet.
He knows.
And this podcast, having no beginning, will have no end. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have subscribed. You can find the Clive Barker podcast wherever you find audio. Show notes for this episode, as well as news and reviews, can be found at our website at www.clivebarkercast.com. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans. Watch for our annual Kickstarter fundraisers to get some cool stuff, and you can buy t-shirts on our TeePublic store. Go to tpublic.com and search for BarkerCast.
Thanks for listening.